Happy New Year, we're back, boys. And I've got your New Year hangover cure. Speed. No, don't do speed. Watch speed. Do some Protoss players dirty. We've got a whole bunch of TVP to watch today. And our first Protoss player on the chopping block is Snow, spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner. It is Kickback. This macro-centric map. We'll see how Speed decides to play. Whether he's going to seize the initiative, or will it be Snow who puts on early pressure? Pylon in kind of an awkward position. He's not going to be setting up any sort of wall at the front. Looks like he's gonna try to optimize space in this base. There's not a whole lot of space to throw down gateways, so probably a bunch of gateways gonna go up along this wall. He starts out with a gateway first. Supply depot. And a barracks on the way for Speed. Hope you guys had a great celebration on New Year's, and if you haven't checked it out already, go see the Best of 2024 video that I put out. It's 10 hours long. I said it was 11, but that was just because I was a little bit thrown off by my video editing software. It starts the video at 1 hour, it says on the timer. So when I checked the end, it said 11 hours, but it was actually just 10 hours. Gateway, Assimilator, Cybernetics Core. But what do we have here? A second barracks from Speed. He wants to get this over with. He's got things to do. He's got places to be, man. He just wants to end this game right off the bat. It's not a BBS, which is interesting. He's hiding the second barracks up on the high ground. And I guess he's just going to make Marines up here. But wouldn't you check the high ground as a Protoss player? Once you see no gas being taken, he comes in, he does 2 hits on this Marine and will back out. So he's not going to run by and get a full scout of the main, which is amazing for Speed, who's just going to be building Marines and possibly pulling a bunch of SCVs with this attack. This is an all-in for sure. He doesn't have a backup plan. There's no backup plan. What if this goes wrong? A Nexus on high ground. Nexus before range. It's perfect for Speed. This is exactly what he wants, is the Protoss player to get greedy. Of course, he'd love to see a Nexus first. Actually, I'm not sure if you want to see Nexus first. If it's Nexus first into 2 gateway, that actually might be worse. Single gateway into Nexus before range, I think that actually might be better. First, Dragoon is about to come out, but he has no idea. Snow has no idea that this is coming. 4 Marines are about to arrive. See if he's got the fancy footwork to pull this off. I have to pull these Marines back. Make sure that they don't get surrounded by the probes. Okay, getting on top of the probes, on top of the Marines a little bit with these probes. He's going to try and focus down the Dragoon, but the probes are getting some great damage here. The Dragoon does go down, but the probes are going to be able to surround everything. And all of the Marines, aside from 1, end up falling. Most of the SCVs are still alive, though. And the Dragoon was killed. Starts a bunker over on this, right next to this gateway. Will he start another building to maybe trap that Dragoon? No, he doesn't. Marines here are doing a good job dancing away from the probes, but eventually some of them are going to go down. Great. Oh my gosh, he's getting right on top of that Dragoon, and he actually gets the kill. Are you kidding me? 1 Marine might be able to make it into the bunker. Can he actually make it? He does make it in. If that Marine had been blocked from getting in, this game might have turned out differently, but as it stands, 7 probes remain, and the range is about to finish. He's going to lose the rest of the probes down to just 3 probes versus 15 SCVs. A lot of these are on the other side of the map, though. My gosh, there's a lot of SCVs over here. Not many back at home at all. Oh, the surround is almost good. He almost gets that surround. He does lose the Marine in the bunker. Wait a second. The Marine in the bunker was killed. It came out to start hitting these probes, and the probes took care of it. Citizen's arrest. This one Dragoon is carrying the hopes and dreams of Snow on its back. Can it actually survive? Can it escape the SCVs? It will get down the ramp. Oh my gosh. That one Marine gets in the bunker. Oh, it takes a bit more damage. These two Dragoons are everything for Snow right now. Is he gonna be able to get this around? This around is good. He's gotta target this one SCV. He doesn't. He fails to target. And so that one Dragoon, the healthy one, ends up going down, and this one falls as well. GG is called, and Snow gets taken down for speed. Pedal to the metal, boys. I like to see it on a map like this, pulling out some freaky cheese and taking out Snow. This is not what you expect on Kickback, and that's kind of why it ended up working, but primarily it worked out well because of the excellent micro with the SCVs getting on top of the Dragoon and forcing it to dance over and over again. Body blocking for the Marines and targeting properly with those Marines. Really good game here to start things off from Speed. We're not going to let up anytime soon, though. We're going full blast into this next video. Stork is Speed's next opponent, and he's going to get cheeky already. Sending out an early probe and setting up this pylon on Monty Hall. Wants to get Zealots into Speed space immediately. We'll see when Speed ends up picking up on this. I think it's going to be a double gateway. Potentially, no. He starts another probe. Let's see when this gets spotted by Speed. He hasn't taken his gas yet. Setting out an SCV. Is he going to send it to the north? It looks like he might. No. Oh, there it is. He sees it. Spots the gateway. Very important that he sees this before it's actually done. He'll be able to make some adjustments to his build now. Although I'm not sure if gas is the right choice. He's going to pull quite a few SCVs. What is this? 5 SCVs to start to hit that. Of course, Stork going to harass this one SCV, and so he'll have to pull one off. We need to work on that gateway. Can he kill it before the Zealot pops out? How calculated is... Oh, great block there. Oh my gosh, he got the one SCV to stop attacking. That might actually be huge. Let's see if he can do it again. Oh, okay, the one SCV is stopped. It's not attacking. These two SCVs are not attacking now. 50, 40, 30, 20. Oh, it gets out. Oh my gosh, that was so close. That was so insanely close. Now a bunch of SCVs are going to fall. 2 have already gone down. And the first Marine is going to pop here in a moment, but that was so damn close. Actually, hard to believe that he managed to get that out in time. And now, Speed, ring around the rosy on the barracks. He's managing to keep that Marine alive for now. Starts a supply depot. Gonna try and surround this single Zealot. There's not gonna be a future Zealots coming in. So as long as he can deal with this okay, it's gonna be fine. That was quite the investment to add the early gateway on. And he's getting a full scout. He knows everything that's going on in the base. And so this Zealot will go down. It got like 2 maybe SCVs. Took a lot of mining time to get rid of that gateway, though. That is something that you do need to take into account. And at home, he started the cybernetics core before the gateway went down. That's actually a huge deal. The fact that he got this started when he did is incredibly important, because that means he can get the robo on curve. Whereas if he had lost the gateway and then had to start another gateway and then build the cyber core, oh my goodness, everything would be so incredibly delayed. Now a factory has started. It's gonna finish up here in a moment. Is he gonna float that out? Looks like the barracks is gonna float out and make its way. Oh, the Marine is trying to go over. That's a little bit funny. He wants to get the Marine out to see if there's a nexus, because you could just go for a nexus immediately after this. That is a possibility. Wants to go and check, make sure that that's not the case. He may send out another Marine on a different angle to go and see if there's a nexus up to this top center. Double starport. Oh my goodness, Speed. I love you so much. Speed, Speed, Speed. What a crazy guy. is going to pop out a ton of wraiths, and this is perfect to deny the build of Stork. Stork gonna have a shuttle followed by a Reaver. He's probably gonna load up the Dragoon, so the shuttle won't be killed instantly. It's not gonna be a complete shutdown, but it's gonna be brutal. These wraiths will annihilate that shuttle, and he's even gonna go ahead and get Cloak as well. That's crazy. Crazy good play. Can't wait to see how this ends up panning out for speed. He's actually gonna wait for a Zealot, so 2 Zealots and a Reaver are gonna go across the map. Since he won't have the Dragoon inside, I'm not confident that he can just prevent this from dying immediately. And yeah, he might end up losing the Reaver, the shuttle, and both the Zealots to just a couple of wraiths. That would be super painful. Let's see when he spots this. Oh, he's gonna get the probe, and he sneaks in as well. This is some great stuff for speed. An excellent start already. Getting in there. How many more probes can he get? Looks like he won't get many. One more kill. And this goes down, but he saw the Reaver shuttle, and so he's gonna come out and meet this in the middle of the map. He's just gonna find the trajectory. Let's see if he can pick up on it. Oh yeah, he's gonna find this for sure. There it is. He sees it, just waiting for it to go over the high ground, and there it is. He's gonna snipe this down so quick. Only the Reaver's able to get out, and there's already 3 wraiths here hitting this Reaver. The Dragoons are gonna come down, but you know what? Cloak just finished. Oh, he just backs away. Okay, he doesn't want to reveal the fact that he's got Cloak yet. The Observer's coming across the map. That's another big factor. Since the Observer's just going to go and check what's going on, he can fly into the main. There's going to be no Observer. And he can... Oh, there is one Observer. Okay, never mind. The Observer's here. So the Cloak actually doesn't matter. He's just going to start killing probes. 2... 3... No. Going after the gas probes means he's not going to get this. Oh, 3, 4. Not bad, not bad. Great micro here from speed as well. Looping around the base. Forcing the Dragoons to chase. Get some good probe damage, and now has a 6 worker advantage off of a 2-port Wraith opener. This is amazing. The second Nexus is just finishing up, but the command center is already done. And he's mining these small mineral fields. Gonna open up the position to get his natural online. This is looking fantastic for speed. I don't know if Stork can find a way to bring this back, because these wraiths are going to be super annoying. They're going to snipe probes in one shot here pretty soon. Once he gets about, I think it's 6 wraiths. Let me see the damage. It's 8. And there's 40. So you need, what, 5? Yeah, he's already getting it. There it is. Snipes down the Observer with the scan. So many probes going down. There's another Observer here, of course, but he should have another scan soon. The cannon here in the main is actually going to shut this down pretty hard, but he can't mine the gas anymore due to these wraiths flying around. They still have a lot of health. He can come back in to the natural. Oh my gosh, so many more probes are going to go down. This 7 wraith clump is so nasty. Ugh, it's so nasty. Observer might have been spotted. Gonna get that second comsat online. More factories coming up. Another command center as well. 10 worker advantage for speed. If Stork doesn't do something really soon, either take multiple bases and hold them properly, or do some sort of massive attack. I think the latter is probably going to be the better choice. The barracks was lost, so he's just going to set up a wall over here. Great choice. Like, we need to do something drastic, incredibly drastic, to find a way back into this game as Stork, and I don't see what that could be. Observer's gonna go down over the natural. Another Nexus may be coming up here soon, but the CC, third CC already done, as the third Nexus just starts. So speed is just so far ahead in just about every way. The only thing he's lacking is production facilities for tanks and vultures, but he'll be able to add those on very soon. He's even got upgrades rolling now as well. Coming back in, getting a few more probes. He can produce more SCVs than his opponent can produce probes. With 3 CCs, he's already at 46. Getting some more factories going now. And I think we're going to see Speed close this one out. It's not going to be long. Stork doesn't really have a footing in this game, and I don't think he can attack in. The amount of wraiths is prohibiting Stork from building a bunch of shuttles and coming across the map. Just trying to break a position would be so hard with all of these wraiths gunning down shuttles. It's probably not going to be possible. There's only 2 gateways back at home, by the way. Only 2 gateways. And there's about to be 4 factories, with number 5 coming up in a moment. He's coming across the map with his goons. He has a shuttle as well. As long as the wraiths are still alive when the shuttle arrives, I think this should be an easy hold. Wraiths are actually not in position for this. Let's see if he can break through. That's a lot of tanks, and they're in very good spots as well. Behind this wall is amazing. That's a great position to be putting these tanks. But he's not going to be there with the wraiths when the drop comes in. He gets a kill on one of these tanks. Thinking about dropping the Reaver again. Gonna drop it here on top of the army. He loses the Reaver immediately, and the SCVs come off the line to body block these Dragoons. The wraiths come in and take out the shuttle. The Observer is dead as well. Looks like he'll get another tank or 2. But the wraiths are going to finish off this army. And yeah, Stork's got a lot of money in the bank. He is not performing at his peak. For sure, he's having a hard time. This is a dire situation, so it's completely understandable. Things have been very weird this game. He's going to now start to add on these gateways as his economy comes online, but he's a little bit late for that. He knew that he had to do something with his army to try and slow down this Terran player, but that was not it. That was certainly not the optimal response, and GG is called. He knows that he's dead, and Speed takes another game, but we've got one more versus Stork. Let's see. Let's see if some more shenanigans come out, if Stork wants to play it like that again. Speed versus Stork again, this time on Minstrel. Sending out a very early probe. Seems like Speed wants to take advantage of a 2-player map. Get that early gas steal and start to take control of this game a little bit. It didn't feel like he was in control of this game the previous game, excuse me, since the failure of that gateway and the Zealot to do early damage. Looks like he will slip by. Speed tried to block that with the SCV. Wasn't quite successful in doing so. And so he is going to have to gasless fast expand. There's really no other choice. He could pull a bunch of SCVs off to stop this, but I don't think that play is very acceptable anymore. It seems like in the current day and age, in the current meta, it's much more acceptable for the Terran player to just opt for the gasless expand. I think that's what we're going to see here. Nexus first out of Stork. Knowing that he has an advantage, that there's no way for an early Vulture, quick factory to punish him. It's either just going to be pure Marines with a big SCV pull, or this Nexus is going to get up for free. And so either way, I think that Stork will be pretty happy with that situation. SCV gonna come up, spot this Nexus, and we'll see if he wants to pull everything across the map and go for a attack. 2 probes out here to prevent the early bunker from going down, which is gonna really slow down any sort of attack. He's actually going to hop bunkers slowly forward. That's interesting. I've actually seen Flash do this before against Protoss, hopping the very far out bunker to force probes to come out and fight. Oh, great block there by Stork. Really good block. Marine was not able to maneuver, and he's doing a great job targeting down the SCV as well. That's crazy. He did so much damage. 2 probes go down. SCV and 2 Marines for 2 probes is pretty excellent for the Protoss player, considering you're on 1 CC and there's 2 Nexi. Definitely going to be happy with the way this early game has gone, I think. Marine's going to be sent back home. 3rd Marine coming out here is actually going to take some damage from the probe. It's a pretty good move. He got 4 hits. 4 hits off on that Marine. Usually it's 2 that's possible, but he ends up getting 4. And so this will die in 2 shots from a Zealot, dealing that 16 damage. Only 20 hit points on this Marine. This guy goes down quick. So 4 Marines not looking nearly as scary when you can just attack that one. No, he's not going to. He's going to try and run by. He sees the CC. That's some important information, but won't be able to make it into the main. A little bit questionable there from Stork, but I guess the information is more important than anything. Really needs to stop this SCV because he's doing some funky tech back at home. Looks like he will get it. Nice probe control there by Stork. Stork really on top of it with the probe control in this game especially. Citadel is coming, so he's going to get some DTs out on the map sooner rather than later. An academy already from Speed. He's adding a 2nd barracks, academy, and a factory. What is this build? What is going on? This is a wild build from Speed. He's gonna try to pull off some sort of wacky play. It might get absolutely smacked down though by this Templar Archives. You get DTs out on the map. If the Terran player doesn't kill you instantly, you're gonna have Storm super quick. And once you get Storm out, I mean, Marines die so insanely fast. They die faster than Lings, I feel, to Storm. They die the moment that the Storm gets cast on them. There's no chance to react, no chance to pull and run. Everything just dies. It's even better than Reaver, I would say. Reaver is pretty strong against Marines, but Storm is the ultimate counter. Stargate on the way. Gonna go into 2 base. Arbiter, I guess? But he's not gonna see this coming. 2 DTs are on the way. There is gonna be 1 comsat, just 1. So with only 1 scan, it's gonna be hard to block this. There's the Marines coming in. SCV along with this as well. The Stim and the medics are a dead giveaway of what's happening. But the first 2 DTs, I don't think he can handle this as long as he holds back a DT. Oh, gonna try and run in and surround this. What is he doing? Oh my gosh. I think he went back to make... I think he went back to go make another comsat. These medics are gonna go down. It's looking like a Stork victory, honestly. This is supposed to do a lot more damage. He will be able to get a turret back up at home. He starts a 2nd factory. But look at what Stork can do. He can just take another Nexus now and get straight on into Arbiter. He has so much space to maneuver with. He's got so much room and freedom to do whatever he wants. There's not a lot going on with Speed at this point. SCVs are going to be pulled to try and block. Bunker can't be finished. SCV dies again, so he's actually now nearly 20 SCVs behind. Oh my goodness, 4 DTs and 1 slips by. I'm gonna go into the mineral line. I bet you we're gonna see, after this DT gets chased into the corner, Stork go in. No, he's not going to pull the trigger. Just backing away. Sitting back on his haunches. Building up into the next phase of the game. Not going to take the risk. Instead, just sliding another DT by. Unfortunately, that one goes down now that there are 2 tanks at the front. He won't be able to pass. But still with 2 DTs in the front, it's not easy to push out as speed. The second barracks doing absolutely nothing for speed. And it feels like he doesn't have many options. A 5-6 factory maybe. Timing attack. Could be his only path to victory. We don't even have... Oh, wait, we do have an armory. Okay, there's the armory. I thought he had completely neglected upgrades this game, but he's got +1 on the way at least. Maybe we'll see a +1 timing attack with 6 factory. I don't see the 6 factory, so maybe not. Maybe he can't afford it. 42 SCVs only. Continuing to build those. Spider mines on the way. The first vulture heading over towards this third. Gonna come in contact with a fully saturated base that already has a cannon online. Think about this in relation to a normal game where the first vulture comes across the map and will be there ready to deny the third base. Maybe throw down some mines. Try to pick off some... Oh gosh, this DT maybe gonna run by. Oh! Okay, secondary scan. Gonna finish that off. Yeah, the first vulture usually placing mines at the third base, trying to pick off the probe that's coming to take that third. In this game, no such luck. Base is already down. Probes are already saturated. He's pushing down the bottom lane while distracting with these vultures in the middle. Let's see if Stork catches on to this. Because maybe, just maybe, if he can like hide and build turrets here and catch Stork completely off guard, maybe he can get something done. He's going to start the turret, but he is in range of vision. So the army is going to move before these turrets are done. Great mine setup. He's going to catch a lot of these probes. Oh my gosh, that mine, I thought that was maybe going to connect. Oh, connects on some of these workers, but or on some of these army units, but doesn't connect on the workers. It's a great play by speed. This might actually kill the base. That would be crazy because Stork has such an insane lead this game, but he didn't pay attention to the bottom pathway. He's already almost got recall. Maybe that's going to be his Hail Mary. Send a recall into the main of speed. That could actually throw him way off. Speed is a bit supply blocked right now. He's potentially going to be losing this Nexus, but he's looking to expand in the other direction. The vultures are just preventing him from doing so for the time being. Let me send another probe out. Try to get this online. Really does need another expo soon. This Nexus will end up falling. Here comes that recall. Going for the main base. Speed doesn't look like he's going to be set up. He's ready for a counter at least. That's some good play. Like realizing that, yeah, there's probably going to be some sort of counter. If you're not going to challenge for the third, you must be trying to do something. But he didn't set up any mines in the main base, and this recall is going to be brutal. Huge recall here in the main. A lot of Dragoons, a lot of Zealots as well. 2 tanks are already set up and ready to fight this, but there's a shuttle with Zealots inside of it. Going to be dropping on top of these tanks. A lot of SCVs are falling. You can see that supply number plummet for speed. He's losing a ton of SCVs, but he's trading out this entire army. Excuse me, entire army, and he's still got this position over here. Could pull back these tanks, gather up everything, and maybe go for a one final attack, killing blow attack potential for this next fight. These 2 Dragoons are going to end up going down in the corner. And the Arbiter kind of trapped in now. These Marines may be able to clean that up. Actually, the Arbiter might be able to fight that. It's got 10 damage. It does 5 to the Marines with the explosive hit. And that's only got 5 health. That's got 10. That's got 10. That's 2 hits. That's 2 hits. That's 1 hit. And how many on this one? I guess that's 4 hits. Might have actually been able to win. I don't know, but getting it out is probably better. Can regain that energy and maybe go in for another recall. Good job by Speed pulling back. The majority of the tanks is going to leave 1 just to make it hard for these Dragoons to clear everything on the left-hand side. Vultures are going to get in here, kill a ton of probes even before an attack can commence. Wow, that's a lot of probe kills. Still has a worker lead, though, by quite a bit. 10 worker lead for Stork. Oh my gosh, kind of a mistake there. Losing a few more vultures for basically nothing. This gets cleared out, and another Nexus will start. But I think Speed's going to be ready for a big push very soon. Now, is he going to be able to get that push going before another recall can come in? I think so. There's still 50 seconds on this recall. And the push is already moving forward. That's quite a lot of gateway units ready to fight in the center of the map. But it seems like Speed is just going to take a third base. Not totally interested in pushing just yet. He has his science facility. He's going to have +2 here in a moment. His CC, I guess, was built over at center right, but he's going to move that back. Go ahead and take the middle of the map, or not the middle, but the base that faces the middle. And now the Arbiter's coming forward. What kind of spells can he get? Ooh, this Arbiter's going to end up going down, it seems like. No. That Goliath is going to survive. Great D-Matrix on the Goliath. Will actually kill the Arbiter. And there's no... Oh, gosh. He's just researching Stasis Field now. It feels like maybe Stork didn't realize that he didn't have Stasis Field. Oh, my gosh. Why would you ever want to push into that? With no Stasis Field, it really does seem like he forgot that upgrade. And now, Speed is just going to push. He unsieges everything and goes. Not even going to saturate this base before moving across the map. He's just opening up the throttle here and going directly for the throat. Gonna send the tanks over towards this base. Looks like a answering recall is going to come out in the Terran main. Might be able to do quite a bit of damage in this main base, but we'll see. Wow, this Arbiter managed to survive with 1 HP. It'll be quite annoying. Could end up getting a stasis after 70 seconds. I don't think it's going to last that long, but it's possible. The Zealots are cleaning up tanks, and Vultures are actually going to hang on. Meanwhile, these tanks over here just barely able to kill that Nexus before getting taken out themselves. A trade back and forth between Stork and Speed, and I'm not entirely sure who's going to win this game. Arbiter will eventually go down. Speed is mining on 3 bases, but he lost quite a bit. He lost a bunch of tanks. The 3rd base is once again operational. It's even bases between Protoss and Terran, so I guess that favors the Terran. It should anyway. But this 3rd base is going to mine out a lot slower for Protoss because he's gone back and forth a few times with which base he's going to be mining. He's also getting on top of this base. Let's see how many SCVs he can kill. He's already killed a lot. Great movement with the Vulture coming around the side, looking for another probe. Trying to take a base. Finds a little position here where the Vulture can't be hit as well. That's super annoying. Probes are going to have to come off the line to kill that, which really slows down the mining for Stork. Stork is now out of money in the natural, and Speed still has something left. So he's going to be on 2 bases for a little bit, while Stork is just going to be on the 1. It starts the Nexus at least, but loses the probe over at this base. Might be thinking about starting another Nexus down at bottom left as well. Although there are Vultures on the warpath. Potentially going to shut that down. In fact, double expansion for Stork, probably going to be the right call, as Speed has to wait some time before he can put together a big enough army to challenge Stork on the map. A lot more probes going to be going down once again. Now, far ahead in worker count is Speed. Totally reversing. Oh, recall into the main, and he shuts down the EMP as well. That's rough. The EMP getting stopped means that all of these units will still have their shields, and there's still some energy left on this Arbiter, which could be used potentially later on. Plus, we're not going to have that EMP for later when another recall comes in. This is cleaned up pretty darn well by Speed, but the Arbiter stays alive, and this was a pretty big distraction at the same time. He needs to move out and take the 4th. I think it's about time to stop recalling into the main of Speed. I feel like a lot of Protoss players get caught up doing the recall into the main thing over and over and over again. And it can be effective, but at some point you need to stop. Stop recalling into the main and start recalling on the outlying bases, because there's no money left in either of these two bases. Getting on top of the production is great, but if we can just shut down a base or two for a few moments, that's potentially a game-winning situation. It's like, I'm gonna pull the probes from this base over here, send them down to bottom left. Meanwhile, pushing in towards the 3rd of... Oh gosh, that was a big mine connection there. Pushing in towards this 3rd of Speed. Stork's starting to fall apart a little bit. He's actually behind in supply, 20 supply behind, in fact. And he basically lost that base for free. Wasn't able to deal any damage back onto Speed. Maybe he can come around with an Arbiter and hit this base, though. He's still mining on 2. Does need to get a few cannons over in this area, though. Not having cannons down here in the bottom left is begging to take massive damage from a Vulture run by. Great setup over at the 4th base. 3rd base is looking well defended. Also, another Nexus gonna come up for Stork. Very scrappy game, this one. But it does feel like Speed is getting the upper hand. And look, there's no cannon down here, just like I said, begging to get raided by Vultures. And these Vultures are gonna do insane damage. You can see we're dropping below a critical point now with these probes. Down to 25 probes. What do you think you can do as a Protoss player with 25 probes against Terran? It's just not against any race, really. 25 probes is just, it's not an economy. Like, you're in a recession now. You're not going to be able to produce, and GG is called. That's right. Stork taps out. Too much damage in this bottom left. He's just not able to sustain it. He's not able to get anything going at this base either. Speed just a little bit too strong, man. He's got to answer for everything, even though he had a weird start and it wasn't looking that great. Able to maneuver himself into a good position through excellent army control and great Vulture raids. Awesome to see Speed play at this level. Stork a bit outmaneuvered. Our next Protoss player, we got a couple of games for him. It's Rich. That's coming right up. Whew, all right. During the break, I went and had some dinner. Basically, here in Japan, New Year's is kind of like Christmas, or it's very much like Christmas, where your grandma or your other family members put together a massive meal and they expect you to finish off all the leftovers. It's, yeah. Just the only difference is that the leftovers aren't turkey, it's sushi instead. Sushi or sashimi. That's what most people eat on New Year's here. That or something called osechi, which is like a box lunch where You have 100 different things in it. And they're all separated by little wooden slats. Anyway, we're back watching Speed versus Rich now. Rich gonna open Nexus first. Speed getting that gas going right away. Looks like he's going for about the fastest factory that you can imagine while getting that scout going. He wants to know where his opponent is and what he's up against. So far, he's already done dirty a couple of Protoss players. Snow definitely got done dirty by that 2 barracks play. It was a little dirty. The double Starport Wraith versus Stork as well. Definitely hate to lose to a play like that, even on Monty Hall, but here we are on Pantheon now with the opener, looking to be about the greediest thing you can imagine a Protoss player doing. It's Nexus first, cross spawn with a second scout, and the opponent is doing, or the Terran player is doing a normal factory timing. So this is going to be hard no matter which way you slice it. It's going to be especially hard because late scout from the Protoss didn't even scout early after Nexus. He scouted way late, and he's going to get in with the probe and see everything. He sees the floating barracks. He knows that it's not like a big SCV pull, because you would be making Marines if that were the case. And he did 1 gate into Forge. Okay, so not the most greedy thing in the world. I guess 1 gate into what's it called? Cybernetics core would be a little bit more greedy. He's gonna start a cannon at the front. That makes him completely safe to any sort of early Vulture Marine play, and it's gonna help him out later on as well, of course. It's nice to have that cannon. That cannon, if you can afford to make it, like if you're playing a normal game where you get a gateway and stuff, there's no way you can afford to make a forge and a cannon at the front. It's nice to have. It's not doable. It's not worthwhile if you're not going for a play like this, but since he did go for this play, it's definitely viable to get this cannon in the front. It's just nice. Like I said, it's just nice. You get a nice cannon wall behind this, and for the rest of the game, whenever vultures come to raid your natural, you're gonna have a little bit of a defense there. Getting that transfer going. And we've got a robotics facility coming up for Rich. Second gateway on the way as well. Doesn't seem like the forge and cannon opener slowed him down much of anything. Just able to make only 1 or 2 zealots as the vultures come across the map. Speed is about to finish, so he could try to run by this cannon. That is a possibility. 3 vultures ready to run by. It's unfortunate that Rich didn't make this wall any thicker and put down any extra pylons here, because he's going to lose a lot of probes. 3 have already gone down. There goes number 4. Looks like a miss there. 5. You get a 6. Looks like not great. Micro on the ramp, preventing any additional damage, but that was pretty good. Pretty reasonable. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to set up mines, though, with those first 3 vultures. So, thinking about it like that, the fact that there's no mines out here, actually, I'm not liking this as much. I think 4 probes, he actually needed quite a bit more to make that worthwhile. And yeah, you can see it pretty far behind overall. Like, if those vultures had come out, laid mines everywhere, you know, set up some vision out over this 3rd base, that sort of thing, and then ran in and got 4 probes, like, that's a lot different of a situation. But we really don't have that map control, and it's going to allow Rich to take a very greedy 3rd base. That's really the benefit of going for a Nexus first, is not only that you get your natural quickly, but you also get your 3rd exceedingly quick. And he's already got the forge, so he can start to put down cannons as well. This is going to be easily defended. He knows that his opponent doesn't have those upgrades finished yet. I don't think he's even got siege mode. It might be on the way here shortly. I know he doesn't have mines. That is for sure. +1's just about done. He's adding on a few more factors, and he did just get a scan going. I'm not sure exactly what he saw with that, but the transfer is going to go through uninterrupted, unimpeded. Since there's no vultures on the map, it doesn't have to worry about any of that. It just seems like there's going to be a big follow-up attack from Speed, and I'm not sure it can work. Rich feels like he's in a very good position. Really from the get-go, of course, with the Nexus first cross spawn. You're feeling pretty good. There's mines coming up. Tried to get a vulture in between the two bases, hoping to catch a transfer, but that's long past. That transfer went through a while ago. And Citadel already on the way. Just gonna skip right past the the Reaver tech, which I kind of like in this situation. You know, the Reaver is a great tool. It's a fantastic unit, but oh gosh, he missed the scan on that Observer too. Observer's gonna stay alive. It's a great tool, but it's a little bit hard to use. And if you accidentally make a big mistake with that Reaver and lose it, well, you lose a big portion of your army, and a very important tool that you're supposed to be getting a lot of value out of. If you're very far ahead, building more gateways, it's a much cleaner way to just win the game. By just having way more stuff than your opponent, you can just overwhelm them. There's not really a way for the Terran player to quickly snipe one unit like a shuttle and suddenly be in a good position. They have to straight up battle your army and be perfectly set up so that you can't win that fight. 9 zealots are about to pop. There is Speed on the way, but it's not quite done yet. Need to buy a little bit of time here, Rich. A little bit more time needs to be bought. I don't know what that upgrade is. Okay, it's actually going to be it's going to be Storm on the way. The zealots are pushing forward with no zealot speed. Siege mode's not done. Siege mode is not done. Kind of sitting back here. He can't really attack in because he doesn't have siege mode. I guess he's going to take this engagement, but the spread of Dragoons is pretty good. There's just way too much stuff. Way too much stuff here. And yeah, he's going to start to lose tanks. Unfortunately, the mine's kind of getting on top of this stuff. And now zealot speed is done. There's 9 zealots behind this sitting at the rally point. No, not quite 9, but there should be 9 pretty soon. Another 9 gonna pop out here in a moment. Finally, the tanks are able to siege, but he lost a little bit too much. A little bit too many tanks went down, and this zealot rally should be able to overcome everything. There's very few vultures overall, and so Speed is just gonna go home, realizing his position is not looking good, and that losing that army would probably be a death blow. He's gonna take his 3rd base instead. Try to sit back, and on this map, you can like tuck yourself into a corner like this. You can put all of your tanks around this area, and it'll cover this and this at the same time. If you just put everything right there at the same time, it's very hard to come through either of these 2 ramps or come around this corner and try to get on top of this army. And you can see he sieges up right in that exact position that I mentioned, coming forward to go ahead and repair those tanks as well. 4th base going to be on the way here in a moment for Rich, and he's going to try to extend his lead a bit more before looking for the finisher. Gateway explosion is complete. So many gateways for Rich already, and he's going to have those storms coming out now. You can see this cannon does help to protect a little bit those Templar in the rally point. Just a little bit of a nice little setup here for Rich, and doubtless he's not going to be harassed because there's barely any vultures. He's got like maybe 1.5 control groups of vultures. Cannot be losing those, because if you lose those, the zealot that are sitting here in the rally point will just overwhelm these tank positions regardless of having mines or not. Vultures coming out to see if they can look around the map, maybe put some mines down top left to prevent a base going up in another quadrant of the map. Try to make sure that one of these extra mains doesn't get taken, because that's really the next step for Rich. Now that he's secured his 4 bases, taking another quadrant is the logical next step. I think we've got some shuttles out now, and the Templar are loaded up. Is it possible that Speed can hold on against this? Look at that supply differential. 60 supply difference between these two players before this battle. Let's see if he can break his way through it here. Does he have that best level competence when it comes to breaking these Terran positions? I think in the Zealots, pretty well kind of split up for this fight. Templar are going to drop out and cast a few storms. Not the greatest storms in the world, but there's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of Protoss. And the tanks are actually going to focus down some of the Templar, which doesn't allow him to storm, but this is just way too much Protoss, and he will just completely overwhelm the position. All right, Speed gets got by Rich of all people. Rich has been showing some really good gameplay on this channel lately. His games on the ladder showing a side of him that we hadn't seen before, and definitely exploding in competence recently. His confidence must be through the roof. I've got another Rich game here between him and Speed. Jump into that and see how he fares. Okay, Rich down in the bottom left. I know it says what looks like Sins, but this is actually Rich. This is not a Sins account. And we've got Speed over in the top right. Okay, I know that it seems like maybe I was exaggerating about the first 3 vultures, putting Speed behind, but that was a really big factor in that last game. He was already in a bad spot, and he gambled his first 3 vultures on a run by that did not nearly enough damage, and it just allowed so much control for Rich in that game. The moment he made that error, the moment that he lost those vultures, Rich was just able to expand and expand and just extend that lead like crazy. And there really wasn't much of a comeback potential there for Speed. Again, the lack of siege mode certainly played a factor. It was quite a late upgrade. It forced him into kind of a poor engagement, but things were already going severely downhill. Let's see if we can get a better situation going for game number 2. It's again a Nexus first, 1 gateway into gas, cross spawn. That is insane. 2 games in a row we're gonna have Nexus first, cross spawn and scout for our Terran player. By the way, just in case it wasn't bad enough already, we're gonna have Speed and scout. Looks more like a Z on this map, but that's where you go to a near spawn, and then you go to another near spawn, and then you go cross spawn. It is the slowest possible scout for finding someone who is on cross spawn, and it's just a bad day. It's a bad day all around for Speed. We'll see if he can bring it back from this deficit, but it's already, like I said, a bad day for Terran. He did go for Forge again. He will get the cannon. It's a very solid play. It doesn't give you as much of a lead as if you went for immediate cybernetic score, of course, but it gives you a huge amount of safety, and I do not fault Rich for this whatsoever. He's hiding a probe over in this corner. Looks like he tried to slip in earlier, but wasn't able to make it work. Took a lot of damage on there. Ooh, a starport center left. They're going to be going for a drop into the main base, possibly with the exact same play as before. Oh, he actually goes for mines first this time. Interesting decision. I guess he's going to come in, fly in with the dropship, try to land right here, and then come into the main and put the mines right there. If you put the mines right there, and then and next to the gateway, then the probes will have to be pulled. They'll have to go through the vultures and the mines, and anything coming back into the main is going to be slowed down. Also, you're obviously going to have a very late observatory with this play. That's why a lot of players will go for a quick third base. That's kind of the sharp way of playing this situation, is you build vultures and mines and you go immediately into a third, and then you just control space with vultures and mines. You know, threaten the run by constantly and just put mines everywhere, and your opponent with the late observatory is not going to be able to move out, and they're not going to find out about your third. So this is kind of a different style, but it does suit, I think, Speed a little bit better, right? He wants to get aggressive all the time. He wants to get in your face, pedal to the metal. Speed is gonna speed, man. He is gonna go for it no matter what the situation is. And this time, I think the play is gonna work out much, much better. He's not, in fact, gonna have mines. Okay, he's got some mines. He's gonna hold on to 3, 4, 5 mines. So he can definitely drop these in the main and then go for oh gosh, he's sending in a Dragoon just at the right time. Is he unloading right there? Oh, he's waiting. He's waiting on Speed to finish. All right, Vulture Speed is done now. Gonna send these directly in. Gonna start going directly after probes. I thought he would lay these mines first. He does end up laying the mines in the path of the Dragoons, but these Dragoons are gonna be able to get down here, and this is not as many kills as I would have thought. This is even more of a commitment. I guess he got enough. We're almost even on workers now. I didn't count exactly how many workers went down, but maybe this was good enough. And the fact that he has mines laid out before going in means that the third base isn't going to be like a 6-minute third like it was last game, right? I would have actually liked to see him wait for the Dragoons to come out and start clearing mines and then go in for the drop. But I guess things turned out pretty all right in the end. Another drop gonna come through. What is this? 3 Marines. Hello? All right, that's a bit of an interesting drop there. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe gonna drop this, what, behind the mineral patches? Oh, maybe he waits for the for the pylon wall to get set up and then goes in. I don't know what this is all about, but Speed, being a little fancy pants, gonna send that dropship back home, and the starport going to float that direction as well. Going up to 5 factories. Now, I wouldn't expect this as Rich. I wouldn't directly expect this, right? If you see that your opponent went for a starport, the logical conclusion is that they're gonna go for a third base and try to make more use out of that starport. Meaning they're going to go into some faster upgrades, right? They're gonna get that science facility out a little bit faster and get their +2 on the curve, right? But in this case, he's just gonna go into 5 racks. Will he go for a push off of this, or are we gonna see a third base? Not entirely sure just yet. The observers in that main base checking everything out. Scan of the main reveals just gateways coming up, and again, pretty solid play out of Rich. He's not gonna get fancy. He's not gonna go for a Reaver. His position's not as brokenly strong as it was last game. He's not so far ahead this time around, but I think he's still got a bit of an advantage, and he's gonna utilize that by building up a high gateway count and just having masses of units. He's just gonna have a crazy amount of stuff, and he's gonna have very fast storm as well. That fast storm will help greatly his chances of defending the upcoming attack. Although Speed is pulling the trigger pretty early. It comes straight across this map. We'll see what he can do with how many tanks is this? 8 tanks and vultures rallying. He has 5 factories pumping away. Tanks are going to set up, forcing that siege and backing away Rich. slowing this down a little bit. Needs to buy some time. 8 Zealots on the way. No Templar just yet. He's not opting to make Templar for that storm. Instead, he's just going to try to break this with Zealot Dragoon, and I think he should be able to make it happen. He's waiting on another round of 8 Zealots that's going to come up pretty soon. How many probes is he going to lose, though? He's only got 1 cannon. 1 cannon in this mineral line is not going to buy you much time. In fact, it won't buy you any at all, because the Terran player can just go for the kill. Ooh, mines connecting on this force that's heading towards the Terran natural on a counterattack. He's just going to go for the throat. Diving right in towards this natural. There are tanks getting set up in the main base. They will be very effective at slowing this down. But the Zealots are going to run right on in. Oh, he doesn't actually get the connection there with the mines. Would really like to have hit those tanks with the mines. Here we go, dragging the mines in. That's very important. He gets the mines on top of that. SCV block on the ramp is going to do a great amount of work. He will be able to kill the tank, though. Looks like one more hit. There it is. The tank goes down. One more tank does spawn. Zealots are getting in here. All the SCVs are dead. The natural is going down, but I think that Rich is getting more damage quicker. Yeah, I don't see him even pushing forward right now. The Zealots are here in the main base, killing off a lot of stuff. SCVs are going down en masse. There's only 34 workers to the 27 probes, but the damage is stacking up, and it looks like Speed gonna return home. He unpacks, he unsieges everything and starts to send his army back, but everything is on top of the factories now and just being killed immediately as soon as they pop out. SCV count is now lower than the probe count, and the first CC goes down. That CC falling is such a problem. DTs are gonna clear out a lot of this stuff. Most everything has been sent back home now, though. Some more probes are killed on the outro. This Nexus over here is going to be a godsend, though, for Rich, who lost his natural and his third, but he has that mineral only, and that's probably going to save him in this game. And it's coming into the main base now. This army's finally made its way back home. You can see how close the supplies are. This is a really close game. Hard to tell who actually wins in this situation, as the Zealots will all dry out. Zealots are gone. 1-1 is done. There are some Dark Templar making their way into the natural. That scan should clear out everything, though. I think he gets 1 tank or those 2 DTs. Not the greatest trade, but I guess we take those in these situations. Can he buy enough time with just DTs trickling? There's 5 DTs. There's not enough scans to deal with all of those. Certainly not. To start a natural, DTs are gonna loop around. Maybe he just wins straight up with DTs, unless there's enough mines at the natural. There could be a run by. Okay, DTs mixed in with this army right now. Actually gonna try and take out a tank. Looks like he might be able to get it. This tank very low. Oh my goodness, that's so many DTs. What on earth is going on? There's so many DTs. Holy cow, the DTs actually take out a lot of those tanks, and the Dragoons should clear out everything else. Yeah, this bush is wrecked. This bush is completely wrecked with the probes. Oh my gosh, the probes. The probes, so many of them are gonna go down. So many probes end up falling, and down to 17 workers. Oh my goodness. Well, that's not very good. More vultures gonna be running by. It's time for Tornado Terran. Just start hitting him everywhere all at once. Try to break him somewhere. Try to get in somewhere and deal that damage. There we go. Mine connection. More probes gonna go down. Down to just 16 now. 16 to 19, and the natural is finally up. And so Speed will be able to continue to produce with a little bit more gusto than our Protoss player. I think this is a Speed win, boys. I think he's managed to pull it off. This is a crazy game, though. This is a real wild one. That counterattack was quite the idea there from Rich. Almost ended up working. the DTs, of course, were insane as well. Like, what kind of a situation is that? So awkward. But it kind of, sort of worked, I guess? Almost. Almost. Just that he didn't have a wall, pylon wall, or any cannons over at this base was what really hurt him in the end. The Vulture's able to find the one weak spot in the Protoss defense. And now, not ahead in supply, but doing pretty well in that supply. The Vultures are going to come running in, and some of them do lose their lives. Dragoons out on the map, clearing out mines. Dragoons are definitely the best unit to make right now. They are going to be incredibly valuable because they do basically manhandle everything in low numbers. You really do need stuff to block for the tanks. In low numbers, the Dragoons are just going to overwhelm them. A few tanks over here in the natural. He's just going to run straight in. Try to kill off a few tanks now. A lot of these tanks are kind of off to the side, not part of this fight. There's really nothing to block for this. And yeah, this is looking really bad for Speed. He's losing so many tanks. He's trying to block. Might be able to get up on this high ground and just bait the mines in. Ooh, great mine bait there on the side of Rich. And yeah, he's just going to focus down the mines, killing off the last few tanks. The Dragoons are now hitting the natural, and there's really not much that Speed can do. I really thought that Speed was going to win this one, but it feels like now Rich has the upper hand. 19 supply differential, and that's pretty massive considering how close these two are to, you know, 50 supply. There's hardly any supply in the bank. Two tanks are holding their ground, but more Dragoons make their way up to the natural. This is great macro play from Rich. Oh my god, so many missed shots on this tank. It's crazy. Oh, it gets another shot off. Still missing shots there. Holy cow, that was like an insane number of missed shots on that one tank. Actually saving the life of Speed. He's not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination, but he maybe can live. He can maybe live. No, never mind. Here comes the next round of Dragoons coming in hot. One more Vulture comes up to the front. The other Vultures have run away. This tank going to be focused down. One more mine connection might be able to help out a little bit, but there goes the last tank. The last mines are going to get cleaned up. Nice micro here by Rich to finish this off. Another tank making its way to the ramp, but more SCVs are likely to go down. There are Dragoons defending all of the bases. Looks like he's going to come in and try to deal some damage with the Vulture at the back being the one that's damaged. He tries to get in here, kill as many probes as he can, but he's only managed to even out the worker count. Once again, the supply, though, looking so brutally in favor of Rich. There's almost no way to make this comeback. He's gonna try for it though. Oh my gosh, another 4 Dragoons suddenly appear out of nowhere. Jumping on top of this first tank. 4 Dragoons take that out easily. More tanks going down. The SCV's doing a great job of screening this tank coming forward. Dangerously close. More SCVs going down. Just 16 remain. And so once again in a brutal position. Great macro. The cycles of macro coming across the map. You can see the trail of Dragoons just flooding into Speed's base. He drops the GG scans and finally taps out. There it is, guys. Speed beaten twice by Rich. How insane is that? That actually blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind that Speed took out Snow with a cheese, and then he beat Stork twice, and now he got beaten by Rich twice. What is this planet that we live on? Rich showing us some great games, and this was one of the best, I think. This would have made it maybe into my 2024 best of. This is a crazy game where somehow Rich managed to snatch victory out of the claws of defeat with that counterattack. Beautifully done by him. We've still got more games to go, guys. I don't think that anything's gonna quite match this one. This is probably the best one for sure. This is a unique, this is a one-of-a-kind game. Let's jump into that next one. Starting off 2025 right with a bit of a banger, that last one. Wow. I am stunned, honestly. That was surprising, to say the least. Rich, definitely on my watch list this year. Somebody to look out for in the next seasons of ASL, and maybe KCM too. Maybe they'll let him in, give him a try. Especially if he does well in ASL. At least if he keeps up this performance, I think he will. Of course, performing on stage is much different than performing at home or performing in qualifier. Ladder is just a completely different animal. But I am impressed nonetheless. Now we've got Brain spawning in the top left-hand corner, our Protoss player. He's going to be opening much more normally. That's one other thing to mention is that, yeah, he did play very well, but Rich also got away with Nexus first cross-spawn 2 games in a row. That's not supposed to happen, right? That's kind of a low probability thing. Getting away with it once is one thing. Twice in a row, that's a pretty low probability. But I digress. Brain over here in the top left-hand corner, he is a consummate pro, fastest possible map player who dabbles in 1 versus 1 as well. He is incredibly well viewed on the Korean, in the Korean pro scene, in the Korean streaming space. Well loved, well liked player in the 1 versus 1, and I don't think a lot of people realize just how popular fastest possible map is. Oh gosh, double factory. I don't know why Terran players are doing this so much lately. We saw it twice in the most recent KCM. But it really does seem like a lot of people are playing with this build once again. I guess because Protoss are getting more greedy and doing things like skipping range, getting a very quick Nexus and then Robo, that sort of thing. That's not going to be the case this game. If he puts down 2 more gateways, I think this is going to get absolutely crushed. If he goes for a Robo now, he could still survive, but it's going to be a little harder. There's the Robo. Now, when does he add another gateway? Is he going to add it right away? He's actually trading with the Marines and keeping his hull hit points pretty high. Trying to figure out what's going on. Takes a pretty good chunk of damage on this one Dragoon. That's a bad sign. You don't want to be taking a lot of damage on these goods, especially before range is done. 2 more gateways on the way. This is very important. Adding those 2 gateways is a great response to what he's seeing. Realizing there's a good chance that more aggression is coming. Great snipes there with the range. It's just so much better. Okay, he's really selling this. Oh, that mine went off, but I don't think that it actually did damage. I think that was sniped just as it was about to go off. And so he's really selling this well as an FD push. I was just moving out with a few Marines and a tank to get you know, enough space on the map to get a vulture out here to deal some, or to put down some mines, right? That's all I was doing, is what Speed is telling to Brain, but I don't think Brain is completely sold, although he's only making 1 goon. If he was making goons on all 3 of these gateways, then I think it would be... Okay, now he sees the extra tank. He starts more Dragoons. Gonna spread these out. Try to come in from multiple angles. Snipe down one of these tanks. When is the dive going to happen? It's off the first vulture. There's the dive. He's going for it. He's still got 4 goons alive, but he doesn't get the 2 shot. Oh boy, those two Dragoons go down after dancing on top of each other. And now the vultures are in the main. Brain might have just thrown here. It wasn't continuously producing Dragoons during the lead up to this attack. And so he just doesn't have the numbers. The dive didn't go well onto the tanks either. Some of these probes are going down now. The number of probes is still pretty okay. But on the high ground, the vultures managed to sneak their way in. Oh, tank goes down over at the rally point. A lot of probes have fallen. 6 kills on this one vulture, and he's gonna get every probe, no doubt. Yeah, every probe gonna go down. Ooh, there it is. 11 probes remain. 11 probes to 22 SCVs. Even though there's 2 Nexuses. Oh my god, and he didn't kill this vulture either. Oh, he's trying to kill it with a probe. Oh boy, this is gonna get really brutal. Oh my gosh, he's killing so many probes. He is killing so many probes with this one vulture. It's only got 5 HP. He's going for a counterattack, hoping that he can just end this. Hoping that he can just come across this map and kill. He has the observer to check for the mines, and there's only 1 tank here. Another building gonna be made, I believe, just to make sure that this can't kill. Going after the mines. Let's get the mines. He loses 2 of the Dragoons though already, and he can't even hit with all 3 Dragoons. So that tank does go down, but the SCVs will surround. Oh, he manages to slide out. Another tank pops though. There's only 4 Dragoons now to fight with this. I mean, he's getting some damage back. It's not the worst thing in the world to make a trade like this. He's hoping he can deal enough damage. Is there another vulture in here? I thought I saw probe numbers go down, but I guess that was going up. 14 workers to 20 SCVs is not a very good position, especially with the command center nearly complete. But he's dealing something. He's doing something right now. At least he's getting a little bit of damage. I personally would have expected a tap out. But Brain thinks he might have something going. There's a possibility. Make some sort of comeback now. Gonna run in, try to kill a tank. That tank probably gonna be free. Yeah, doesn't lose any Dragoons for that. Maybe he can run up onto the high ground. Maybe he can kill this. Oh gosh, yeah, he gets that vulture. That's really good. 19 workers now to 23. He lost a supply depot as well. Looks like he's managed to prevent the supply block at least. Engineering bay going down. A shuttle on the way. And this kind of desperate ploy from Rich has, or not Rich, excuse me, Brain has maybe allowed him to somewhat come back, but he needs something more. And yeah, he's gonna go for Robo. It was either Robo or DT. I think those are really the only 2 choices. Those are the big ticket items, the ones that could actually make a difference in a game like this. He sees 2 vultures heading around the Dragoons. He needs to get back into this wall. He cannot be allowing any more run-bys. That would be disastrous at this point. So he's gonna move back. He picks up the zealots. Oh boy. Okay, making another pylon in the wall. That's a good choice. Yeah, you really don't want to allow this to happen. There are 4 tanks in the natural, and there are 3 zealots in the shuttle. How many Dragoons are there total, by the way? There are 7 Dragoons. Can he bulldog this? Really does seem like Speed is expecting it, and he's right to do so. Missile turret about to finish up. Coming in with the shuttle. If he gets the perfect mine drags, maybe there's something that can be done. There's only 2 vultures in this force. He's coming in with the zealots, dropping them on top. Going after the tanks now. The Dragoons are quite low. Focusing down whatever he can, but it's not good enough. The Dragoons will be splattered, and this is most likely GG. Will he tap out? I suppose not. Gonna hang in there for now. 25 workers to 39. This is about as rough as it gets. I really thought he was gonna wait for the Reaver, because maybe, like, the Reaver is the one thing that could maybe... Oh gosh, he even got hit by a mine, I think, coming out of the Robo. That is rough. This is his kind of last chance. The Robo, or the Reaver, excuse me, can make the difference, but it's basically been shot before it even left the womb here. Just about, like, pre-aborted here. This Reaver never stood a chance. He's like got a congenital disease or something. The moment he pops out, he's already broken. And so the Reaver will arrive and maybe do some damage, maybe not. It'll pop in like 2 tank shots. If it ends up getting hit, yeah. Just 2 tank hits will kill that. I'm gonna try to get a shot off, kill that SUV. He does slow down the third for a little bit. It's another great shot with the Reaver. Actually kills 3 vultures. That's not bad. Takes some more damage though. Gonna rotate over here towards the natural. There is a turret, but it's not in the perfect spot to deny the drop. And there is shuttle speed. The shuttle speed gonna help him to maybe deal some more damage. He's actually gonna come back, it looks like, pick up another Reaver. Another Reaver in that speed shuttle. Maybe he can get some work done with that, although really does feel like the tank setup is good enough now with the turret setup as well. Unlikely we're gonna see much damage out of this. Another Reaver being made. He's really leaning hard onto the Reavers for support. They're like a crutch now for Brain to somehow make his way back into this game. Looking for a 4th base after the 3rd base just finished, but it's already behind curve with so much action that's gone on in this game. It's completely understandable. 13 minutes actually feels a little bit fast for this third base. 4th base, excuse me. He's not gonna take 12 o'clock. Interesting. So he's... Wait. Huh? Okay, he's gonna send a probe up here. I thought he's gonna go ahead and take the base in top right. But I guess he's gonna take top center. I'm not sure. Vulture gonna come up here and actually stop this. That's a very smart move from Speed. Just go ahead and get rid of that. Good stuff by him. Probe actually heading back. Not gonna take 12 o'clock just yet. He's added on some more gates. Has a forge coming up. I don't know what an upgrade's gonna do for him at this point, but he's maybe gonna go into some upgrades. Scarab damage on the way. I feel like that's an upgrade that most players go for when they're super far ahead, or if you're Snow and you just want to style on somebody, but I rarely, if ever, see someone go for Scarab damage when they're behind in a position. That seems strange to me. Taking a look at Speed's base, he's gone up to 6 factories on 3 bases. We're gonna have a massive push timing with 1-1 with a lot of factories. Maybe go to 7 or 8 factories here on 3 bases and make it very hard for Protoss to secure another base. That's an interesting location to take up on that high ground. Looks like he's trying to hide that. Unlikely to be scouted in a spot like this. Unfortunately, Observer is going to be lost. That's never a great situation. You don't want to be losing observers just like that to turrets, but it is what it is. He's going to fall back for now. And triple shuttle is going to come in and roll the dice. These are the true lotto ships, boys. We talk about Terran lotto ships all the time, but this is the definition, the true definition of dice roll. Oh my goodness. Great shots there with that Reaver, but he loses all the shuttles. No, there's 1 shuttle left. 1 Reaver goes down. This is some great damage. Killed quite a few SCVs. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That is a lot of damage right there. It's like he can drop on top of the tank. He gets another tank. My goodness. This is some disgusting levels of damage, guys. Another big shot. It's too bad he didn't target the SCVs next to his Reaver. He could have gotten even more damage there. Reaver in the line here, in the rally of these tanks. He's pushing across the map. He's lost so many SCVs. He actually kind of needs to go. Good job dropping the Zealots on top of this, drawing some tank fire. Only 4 gateways, though. 4 gates to 7 factories. I don't think you're going to be able to hold. I don't know what else to say, Brain, but this is not looking good, buddy. Regardless of how much damage you do with that Reaver, 4 gates versus 7 factories is not a good situation. These Dragoons are going to go down fast. The shuttle just going to stand over there kind of menacingly in the rally point. There goes the Reaver. Another one gets picked up. More Zealots pop out, but this is only 4 units at a time, guys. This is not a lot of stuff. And he really does need things to send at this army to make it stop. He's almost managed to slow this down, but it's still pushing forward here. Speed is not slowing down at all. Just continuing to roll in. A lot of these tanks are very low, and with some good Zealot bombs, maybe he can make this work. There's actually no anti-air on this, so that's fantastic. Mines like that are going to be so brutally painful, so he does just go ahead and kill those preemptively, making sure that those are out of the way. Vulture's now going to get up inside the mineral lines, start to deal that damage. Zealots dropped on top of this. Dragoon dropped on top of this as well. Does get some Reaver shots off. Everything going to unsiege, realizing that the collateral damage of those siege tank shots is actually going to be worse for him than it will be for the Protoss. And so goes ahead and unsieges everything. Shuttle up here. Going to drop the Reaver off to deal with these pesky Vultures, which have 4 kills. More Reavers. He's actually got double, oh my gosh, double Robo 4 gateways. That is so much Robo. That's so many Robos for so few gateways. Oh my goodness. Oof. Going pretty well though, all things considered. All things considered, he's actually holding on. He's got more probes. He's adding more gateways now, realizing he actually needs stuff. Like I said earlier, he lost the shuttles though. The shuttle loss is painful. He's almost gonna get another tank there. He does get that tank, but there's still 3 tanks in the rally and a lot of Goliaths. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of Goliaths. If he gets another round of Zealots out and the Reavers manage to do something. Oh, come on. Oh, he gets another shot. Ooh, he gets another shot on that. Tanks are quite low. The SCV comes up. Hero SCV gonna save this tank with 9 kills. And GG is called. There it is, boys. He takes down Brain. But it was not an easy match whatsoever. It felt like Brain was maybe gonna make a comeback with his counterattack. After all the damage he'd sustained, though, he wasn't able to get his ground army macro online fast enough to break this. He was well on top of the robotics and the macro of Reavers in this game, but it just doesn't really matter when the gateway count is so much lower than the factory count. There's really no way to beat the mass of units, and that's part of the beauty of StarCraft. There are counters to certain things. There are things that do well against other units, but when there's just masses, when you have more than your opponent, you can make shit work even with the wrong units. And I don't even think these were the wrong units. I think he had all the right stuff. The Goliaths, the Vultures, the tanks, the SCVs with the turrets being built and repairing everything up. He had all the right stuff, and Rich just didn't have the mass. He didn't have the might to break this push. GG, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're doing well in 2025. That's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.